I don't get deterred real easy. So if I don't place in a contest, it's like, well, that door didn't open, but we're not going to stop. We're gonna keep going.
What has motivated you to submit to screenwriting competitions in the past?
I think it was another way to get potential eyes on your script. If you place in a contest, it's just another little small thing to say that, if you're sending somebody an email, hey, this script was a semifinalist. Hey, this script was a finalist. It's just more ways to add to your script to get people to look at it, honestly. Sometimes contests will have, feedback for your script that you can get. So I think it's just another avenue to try to get eyes on your screenplay.
When you were submitting to competitions, did you have those particular competitions in mind while you were writing your script?
No, I think there's like several contests that are kind of known as the big ones, and then you'll find something that's more specific, like if it's for an action screenplay. I don't really think of that stuff until the script is done, and then that becomes another avenue, another door to potentially open contests. I think whether it's a contest to open a door or pitching to somebody online, I always just think of it's more doors to try to open. I think that's what contests will give you, just another way to get eyes on your screenplay, and also have some sort of evaluation of how don't take it to heart, but if it is moving forward in contests and stuff, you have something.
And they can be a way to get meetings as well.
Oh yeah, some of the major contests, if you place in those or you advance in those, I think a lot of managers look at those things. Executives, I've had some friends who won contests and they got meetings with managers, agents, and that's how they kind of got in the game, especially the contests like the Nickel, that's kind of a career changer. Yeah.
In competitions, what do you think it is that sets the winning scripts apart?
Man, I have no idea. I think it just depends on the reader you get sometimes, unfortunately. That's another variable. It's just like, who knows who's reading your script sometimes. But I think, honestly, having really great characters, having really great characters that people can connect with emotionally, I think is important for contests. I think that's the big one, is having really great characters that people really just connect with in certain ways. Sometimes I think, if you're doing an action contest, obviously having a great concept is king, but I think for some of these really prestigious contests, it's having really great characters and a really interesting story.
How many contests would you say you've entered?
I think I've done them all at some point. I haven't since I got representation. I haven't really been going down the contest route, but I think I've submitted to most of the big contests over the years in some way. I would say numerous contests.
And can you submit the same screenplay, or it has to be a brand new one to each contest?
I think you can submit the same screenplay, or maybe just change the title on that thing and resubmit it. But I think you can kind of submit it. I know I've had friends who've submitted contests from one year to the next in the same contest, and they've advanced. They've advanced the year later after they made some changes and incorporated that feedback.
How would you decide what screenplay competitions to enter?
I think there's several that are known to affect careers a little bit more in certain ways. So those are the big ones. Austin Film Festival is a big one. I think you kind of hear from word of mouth, those type of things. Or even using a resource like, YouTube or Reddit, people talk about their success stories, and hearing other writers' opinions on them, I think, is important. Those are always the big things in my mind, and especially sometimes just a script is catered towards a horror screenplay competition or an action screenplay competition. I'm like, oh well, I'm a genre guy. This might fit right into that, so I would go down those routes.
What kind of feedback have you received from these competitions, and how has it helped your writing?
I think with those, I think some of the contests you'll get a general round of notes on your screenplay. So I think with anything, it's a take it or leave it thing. But I think there's, it's like what we talked about. Even people who aren't writers, but they'll still give you something. there's always something to be pulled and gained from everything. If you disagree with it, okay, but maybe there is something in your script that's not working. So I think each time it's like, no matter what contest you're in, I think you can get some good feedback and figure out how to make it get to the next level.
Have you ever had a screenplay underperform with competitions, but it was actually successful with producers? In other words, you submitted it to a screenplay contest, nothing happened, but producers liked it.
I think Hot Seat might be a perfect example of that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sometimes I think the genre stuff is, it's better to go to producers with those things. You never know what's going to connect with a reader. Sometimes you never know if a script is gonna connect. But yeah, I don't think it. Even if it doesn't place in a contest, that doesn't discourage me. I think another skill is like just accepting the answer is going to be no, and accepting that everyone's going to have feedback or criticism. And if that's like your starting point, anything else is a little success along the way. It's I don't get deterred real easy. So if I don't place in a contest, it's like, well, that door didn't open, but we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. So I think that's important to remember too. I
like that. Yeah, that is a great sort of mantra to have in any part of it, whether it's acting or screenwriting, whatever. It's probably going to be no, and there's probably going to be criticism. And
I think that's such a big part of acting and writing is like you put what you have out there, and you just gotta be confident in your vision, and you gotta be confident like, I'm just going to keep pushing this thing. I'm going to keep trying to open doors, I'm going to keep working. And you got to sometimes just like screw the negativity and realize that no is just a part of the game. Right. It's just a part of the game.
Collin, will you still submit to screenwriting competitions today?
Not as much now that I have representation and I do have some produced credits. I think that's like, I think if you place in a competition, I think those are great things to say like in an email, like, hey, I won this competition, I placed in this competition. Now I think it's like, I've had a couple things made, so I can almost use those as kind of like my opening, whether it's an email or opening, just conversating with somebody. But for the big ones, I might still submit to a big contest if I feel like I have something that really fits that, or if it's like if it's like a cool contest that's attached to a film festival. Those are always awesome to go to. I went to Austin a couple years ago, and you always meet writers, you meet friends of those things. So, there's a lot to be gained from contests still, I think. Yeah.
Any final thoughts that you have on writers submitting to screenplay competitions?
I think go for it. Go for it. If you can afford it, and you have the money to pay the submission fees, go for it. It doesn't hurt anything. Like as long as you know you might not win or you might not place or anything might come of it, but remembering that it is a possible another opportunity. Sometimes a lot of these contests have really good notes that you get. So in that way, your submission fee gets you feedback to help you get to the next level. So I would say go for it. I think screenplay competitions are a great avenue. I think also making things is a great avenue. Making short films, that's so important too. It's just trying to make things.
And if money is not something, especially during leaner times, to be able to submit to, it can add up. They can get costly.
Oh yeah, they can get. Submitting short films to contests gets expensive. Submitting screenplays, it all adds up. So I think it's just being able to pick and choose based on your budget, and if you don't have the money and the resources, join a writing group, get feedback that way, or try to you could send your logline to people, an email query. There's so many different avenues. Go to a networking event. There's a lot of different avenues. Where you're not paying upfront money, So I think it's just I think it's like with submitting things, it's like just knowing your budget and knowing, hey, this is what I can do here. Let's pick the right contest for me.
Sure. And if someone doesn't have a budget, if they can't. Well, where do you find these networking groups? Like Eventbrite and things like that. I mean,
that's been one. Sometimes they'll be on like Reddit. I think just look around on the internet. I think there'll be good resources. Whether it's Reddit, I think is a good resource. A screenwriting forum there.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of organizations that have mixers in Los Angeles. I think Eventbrite might have some mixers and stuff, but I think it's just taking the time to search out those things too.
Right, Craigslist too.
Craigslist, maybe Craigslist,
Yeah.
maybe not.
So there's actually some good stuff on there, but
no, I mean, I remember,
uh-huh.
I've found so many great people for stuff I've produced just off Craigslist.
Yeah,
there's so many great. I mean,
it's a great resource.
I've gotten writing gigs off of Craigslist. It is a great resource. I haven't used it in a minute, but yeah, it is a great resource for finding talented people.
Right. Yeah. There's there can be some scary stuff, and then there can be some amazing finds on there. Yeah. And then lastly, with writing groups, is there a fee to be part of it, or no? Do you bring snacks as part of popcorn or what?
There's no fee with the writing group I've been a part of, and writing groups that I know there's no fee. There are some online that do have a fee where maybe a more established writer will run the group, make sure everybody's getting equal time or getting equal feedback. But yeah, I think it's either just organize one on Zoom or get together and bring snacks.
Right.
Yeah. So I wouldn't pay for one. There's so many great ones out there. But sometimes having somebody to just really run and organize it is what there might be a small fee for.
Do you have a preferred place in LA where you write? If you weren't at home writing,
I love to go to like Mel's Diner, or I love to go to Bob's Big Boy in Burbank.
Nice.
That's where David Lynch wrote for a long time. For some reason, me and my co-writer wrote Hot Seat at a diner. We've written other things at diners.
I love diners.
For some reason, diners are fun. There's a good energy. For me, I also love going to like old libraries. Like the old, like just the UCLA library. I like those very kind of old school libraries where you can kind of find a nice little corner, just tuck yourself away. There's not a lot of distractions. Anywhere where you can shut your phone off for a while and get in the zone, I think is great. But for me, I love diners. Some people love coffee shops. I love a good diner or a good old library.
Right. Remember, there was a place called Dupar's too that was had a not an 80s feel, but there's something about diners.
Is that a diner?
Yeah, it's no longer.
Okay.
Just that diner feel.
Yeah, there's something about that. Like what,
Denny's.
I don't know what it is, but there's something creative about that. Getting a milkshake or just hanging out for a while, getting coffee.
Right, yeah. And there's something too, if the uniforms are kind of, if there's like a hairnet in the place, I don't know.
We might have to deep dive the science of diner writing.
There's just something great about it, yeah, sorry. No, I love that, I love that. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Here is a complimentary question from our book Story Questions.